What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Connect Now.
It's Monday. I hate Mondays.
Woo! Which is a hashtag I hate Mondays.
It takes me a while to get
going.
to get into
Monica's
it.
moving her body. She's like, it takes me a while to come on, keep the music going for Monica. Yeah.
It takes me a while to get into it. I don't know why, but
Monica, you always remind me of one of those. We gotta get into it because I know our guest is gonna be waiting for us. But you always remind me of, and I tell you this all the time, that like with Monica, we work Monday through Friday. So after Friday, when Monday comes, she's very quiet with me, so she has to warm up to me again. And then she finally warms up, and then the smile comes out, and she's like, "Hey!" And I'm like, "There she is," you know.
because after a long week with you, it's like I need that break that resets me back, and then I have to get used to you again. It's like, oh God.
Oh, whatever. She says I bring the life to her. Yes. No, but we're excited. I mean, a lot of great things are happening. If you guys missed the last episode, make sure you guys go to the last episode. It's on our YouTube. We used to show our episodes on Facebook and YouTube, but now it's only YouTube. The links are in our bio. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, unfortunately, you guys won't see me on that episode. I was a little under the
Bummer.
weather. But I'm here today.
Yes.
And I'm super excited about, a couple of upcoming events that I want to make mention of, especially with ours, the GWC Unsung Hero event happening on February 19th. Make sure you guys go to the link on our bio and get your ticket. This event is so important to us because it's going to highlight some pretty awesome people in our community, and I can't wait for you guys to be part of this event. Come cheer them up, guys. They can definitely
use the support.
Yes.
Yes.
And then there's another event coming up that I think we showcased the video on our platform about FEM 2026. It's a pretty cool event that we're gonna be a part of, that we're gonna get to experience. So make sure you guys look them up and see what this event is about. It is a woman's event, but I heard it's going to be a couple of men,
men
right?
do go there, and they said that the men go there and they actually get rejuvenated as well. They get motivated, inspired as well, and it's a good thing, and we're going to go there because we're going to do some interviews. We're going to videotape some of the things that take place and showcase what it's all about, what this hype is all about.
I heard it's a phenomenal event. Remember, March is we celebrate Women's History Month, so there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So even if you can't be part of this great event, make sure you're supporting other events that are highlighting some incredible women in our community.
So make sure, guys, and it's all about this 2026. It's all about bettering ourselves, getting better. Not just, it's health is wealth, and that's what we're on the topic too. And who you surround yourself with, who you're with, what you're reading, what you're putting into your body, into your mind. It's all about those things that make who you are. Because you could know a lot about a person, right, by the way they speak.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yes. Monica's laughing because we just had an off-camera talk. So that's very true, everybody. No. But you could tell a lot by somebody. And you could tell a lot by a person, too, about what they put in their body. Food and certain things, because these days a lot of things are processed. But, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear, so watch the videos of some of our sponsors. And when we come back, we have Lourdes Colon, I think I'm saying her name right. She's a good friend of ours. She is someone who was only given a week to live because of cancer, but yet she took some certain methods and she cured herself. And she has a movie called Create Option C, but she did something different now. And when she comes back, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I'm excited about
But why don't you tell them what she does? She's a holistic.
Yeah, she's a holistic healer. I call her my doctor. Every time I get sick or something, and you know that too.
Lourdes, if you're already watching this, I'll tell you, for every little thing, he says, call Lourdes. And so
I do. Call her right now. It's my doctor. Yes. And she even gets mad at me sometimes too, because I'm always calling her for the dumbest things too. Like, hey, how do you get this? How do you do this? She's like, I don't know. That go do your thing.
But I'm sure she gives you some really great advice. And
awesome advice.
We can't wait to hear from her today. She is going to be joining us via Zoom.
Yes, via Zoom. So what we're going to do is she's waiting. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have Lourdes Colon. She's coming on. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Michael.
I'm Ralph.
Welcome to Munoz and Munoz.
Come check it out. Here at Munoz and Munoz, every case is important to us. Big or small or big, we're here to help you.
And here also, privacy is our #1 priority for all of our clients. So come check it out. Our #1 priority is serving the community. We want to give the best attorney service out there in the industry. We're here to help you. Please call us for any personal injury or criminal defense needs that you may need.
So thank you guys for visiting our firm. As you can see, I'm here, Michael's here, always ready to serve you guys for any questions. And please, do not hesitate to call us for anything you need. It could be the simple question, we're here for you. Y sí, hablamos español.
Hey everyone, Happy New Year. This is Danielle with Certified Federal Credit Union bringing to you some great promotions going on. I know you guys are all probably tired of hearing it. Come save money, low monthly payments, consolidate those loans. But seriously, we do have some amazing promotions that you can do just that. And they start at great low fixed rates. Give me a call, 909-504-7371, or visit us on our website at www.certifiedfed.com. Give us a call. Love to help you. Let's get that holiday spending down to a minimum. What do you guys say? I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great one.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. And what we're gonna do is, I have a correction on the name. It's Lourdes Lavoy. So let's bring her onto the show because I had to. Yeah, let's bring Lourdes on, and I had to.
She busted you.
She busted me. She's all, I've been hearing, and you're saying my last name wrong. Okay.
Hi, Lourdes. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good. This is awesome because you're our first Zoom, episode that we've ever done. So there might be a little bit of technical difficulties. We don't know, but hey, you look good.
Yes, you look
Thank
great.
you. This is awesome. I get to be first.
Yes. I know you've probably done so many. Cause we're trying to figure out how to you could see us, but how would we could see you, but how would you be able to see us? But the guys, our great team here, Aiden and Brendan, they figured it out, and they're amazing guys. So many people told me you got to buy this and $500 and $1,000 of this, and they're just wires, and these guys just figured it out. That's it. But let's get into it because I want to talk a little bit about who you are. Like we said before the break, that you are my very good friend. I've known you for a very long time. You did the movie with me that we produced, and you starred in as the mother, and you had cancer in it. It was Crave the Fast Life. It's on Amazon Prime, and that's where I met you and fell in love with your whole story and what you do and who you are. And ever since then, you've been my holistic doctor.
True.
Holistic healer.
I love, by the way,
healer. I should say healer.
Yes, holistic
My
healer.
holistic healer and stuff. But and I got to watch your movie, Create Option C. But we're gonna get into the new revised. But Monica has some questions that she wanted to ask you as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've had the pleasure of meeting you in the past, and you've actually have been in our show with your husband, and it was funny because he's funny. And how's he doing, by the way?
He's doing great.
He's doing great.
I'm actually out in Illinois right now, so he's still in California. I came out to visit family and take care of a few things, but he's doing good.
Yeah, I know. I
He's
see
always gonna miss me when I'm there.
I see your Instagram, and you're definitely staying busy, giving out some really good advice. But let's talk about the why. What was the aha moment or personal health crisis that led you away from conventional methods and towards your holistic path?
Sure. I think it was, the moment where I was consistently praying because I wanted to do something that would be a difference in the world. And so the moment I was diagnosed with cancer, I thought this is a perfect opportunity to really understand and learn the body and why I got cancer, right? Because it just doesn't happen. Our bodies are perfectly made. There's something that was off that made the imbalance and caused abnormal cells. And when I started researching and deciding at that moment, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I need to use myself as a guinea pig and learn what it is that one can do to turn things around to have better health. And so it was at that moment that I said, this is it. I'm going to pick up a camera. I'm going to put my acting career aside and start researching how the body works, what causes cancer, and how can I address that naturally without causing any kind of harm or disruption in my body.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. How long ago was your cancer diagnosis, if you don't mind me asking?
2010. So
Well, 16 years
been
ago.
almost 16 years. Yeah, September of 2010.
Cancer free.
Been cancer free for 15 years.
15
yes.
years. 15 years.
And you were stage 4, am I correct?
Yeah, I got to a point where I had a week left to live and had cancer throughout my body. I had about 5% use of one lung. I was barely breathing. But it was through prayer that I said, you know what? Introduce me and let me meet the people that's going to help me do these things without having to do anything conventional. And I got a call that day and said, hey, I know this guy. He's in Mexico. And he does the things that you want to do, which is natural. And that's how it all started. So through those things, I started learning. And I went to different places, learned how the body runs and what certain compounds and minerals and nutrients work and run the body and the immune system and all that. But it didn't stop there. Even now, I'm constantly researching. I have so many medical books, and I use that together with nature and understand it even better to another level and go, yeah, why would you ever do that since the body does this? And you know, the R&A. So I started to like really putting things together, and daily I thank God every day for it, because I know clearly that that's why he put me on this mission, so that I understand the body. And I think, you know, he knows our hearts. He knows how when we have this desire, and I've always had a desire to be a difference because I love people, and really understanding the body, which is magnificent. Mm-hmm. Like I'm going, wow, if we just did this one little thing here, it actually fixes that. Wow. And so it was in that allows me to learn daily. Like I never even knew about a D cell, right? And now I'm going to D cell. It's part of your immune system, works with the brain. And so it's all these things that I daily learn that helps me help other people in another level.
That's wonderful. You know, as I hear you speak, you're taking me back to when I was a little girl growing up in Mexico. There was, of course, there's a lot of different doctors that we got to see for different things that were happening to us, different illnesses, different allergies. But I remember very clearly a friend of my grandma's who was this older man who every time something was going on with one of us, which medication wouldn't fix, it would just make us worse. He actually had some natural stuff that he would give us that actually healed us. And a lot, you know, I forgot about all that, but as I hear you speak, I remember these teas, these different herbs that they would put together, and I don't know where that came from. And I was, you know, my dad was always very hesitant about these things, but when he saw that he was actually healing us, he was always like, bring that guy back. Like, how do we find this guy again? How do we do this? But then as we grow up, you know, we forget about these things. But I remember that very clearly. Did holistic come from these kind of men, and that started all this, or how, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, medicine really started from nature. And it's in those herbs and even in our fruits and vegetables, there's certain compounds in it that actually our bodies need. So it's always been there. And if you think about it, it's where even the pharmaceutical companies, right, they go to nature and say, why does this specific thing help them with this? Mm-hmm. And then they look at it and go, oh, it's this one compound. And then they create something, you know, in the lab synthetically, but with other stuff, which is why we have like the side effects. But what nature does, it's in a whole food form. So being in a whole food form, it's in the whole that makes it work. So, you know, to a level that one medicine couldn't do, even though I call nature medicine because it heals. Anything that's healing is medicinal, right? Mm-hmm. So when you look at that, if you look at like cinnamon, right? There's compounds in cinnamon that normalizes your insulin. So you look at them and said, oh, well, that's where they went. They looked and said, what compound in this thing can we duplicate, you know, obviously synthetically, because you can't make it from nature unless you're taking it from nature. And that's where you get it from, because it's, you know, you can't patent nature, but you can copy nature. But I always say, why copy it if I can get it straight from nature where I'm not going to have any side effects? The only side effects I'm going to get is that I feel stronger or healthier, you know? And even in that thing, it's like I always look at individuals, when they come with, to me, I look at the whole picture of what's going on in their life. Because sometimes you may need this one thing that has nothing to do with what you're experiencing, but it's going to fix this little thing that you got here that's going to then address the other part. Because every organ, every cell, all of them work in unison to balance things out in harmony with your body. So a lot of times something as simple as cinnamon or a cinnamon tea, or eating carrots or having celery, just certain, because it has the magnesium that your body needed. Just certain things like that, kind of when you put it together, you kind of start realizing that you can just add different things in your diet, and change things. And I think that's what's changed my life. And I kind of stepped away ultimately, and I never thought I would have, but I stepped away from acting because I'm like, this is so much more fun and so intriguing and so fulfilling that I just stepped away from it. And it's like, I don't want to act anymore. I just want to stick with my mission.
No, I like it. And, it's, and what you're saying too, because, there's a lot of people out there that are skeptical. They're very skeptical, because it's a doctor. They don't know. No, I'm going to trust my doctor. I want to get the advice from my doctor. And, and I know there's certain parts where the doctor is valuable, but then there is, like you said, the holistic healing process, and you just made mention earlier that you do get the books, that the medical books, and you do the research, and then you find what the natural stuff is. So, I mean, is it okay to utilize both in a sense, then, so people are not that skeptical to say, well, I'm not going to get rid of my doctor, right away. I want to be able to still, have my doctor. Is there a balance?
Oh, there's definitely a balance. And I say this because, well, first of all, if we have an accident and I need surgery for the get that doctor. But even, as far as something like, because sometimes you need to know what's going on, and a doctor plays a big role in that. They can, and even though sometimes they can't figure it out, they'll look and say, everything looks good, but your body's telling you everything isn't good. And that doesn't mean that that they were wrong. It's just that what they used to try to find something didn't give them the answer. And so if they can't find it, naturally they say everything looks fine. And that's all they can do. The hands are kind of tied in that sense because they can't go, well, maybe it's certain things that you got to cleanse out of your system, because that's not the way they're trained, right?
Right.
So that's where I come in. And I think, and a lot of people like myself come in. I think working as a team with the doctor, in fact, at the moment, I'm working with a family whose dad was actually pretty critical and in the hospital. And so they were telling me all the information. But the doctor said he's got this and they got that and this is going on. So they're telling me, and then they're telling me the list of medications that he's on. And then I look up all the side effects of the medications and I'm going, well, that's why he has this problem, because that medication caused that. And so then we start breaking it all down and say, this is how we can replace that, and then down to even juices. Well, since he's got a feeding tube, these are the juices you want to make. And so they go and they make it into a prescription. And I've had to even talk with doctors, because sometimes doctors don't know that they can put a prescription on something that someone brings in as long as it's sealed. And I even had a doctor like, oh, I can do that. It's like, absolutely. That, you could. And so he looked it up. He saw I was right. And so we started working as a team. And I made it real clear because, sometimes some are stubborn. But I think when you talk with them with knowledge and education, understanding how the body works, I've had doctors saying, wow, can you send me some of the studies? I'd love, because I'm like, I got all the data. And you got some that want it and some that are like, no, I don't need the data. But regardless, because I had someone who had like the power of attorney, they had to listen to that person. That person's like, whatever she says is what we're doing. And so then the doctor worked in unison, and within like 3 days, he was out of ICU, he was out of the ventilator. Like, we turned things around for him. And so anytime, as he got into the next floor, something would happen. I said, okay, well, tell me what they're giving him. Okay, he shouldn't be on this, and this is why I say it. And, but it's up to you guys. And then they're like, well, no, we don't want him on it. And then those things start fading away. They realize it was because of what they gave them. And so sometimes, you have to just have conversation with them, even down to the nutritionist. I had to have an argument with the nutritionist there, and I'm just like, yeah, how do you not know this as a nutritionist, that if someone has a missing organ, especially in the digestive system, if you're just pounding them with all this protein, they're going to get too much, and fats and stuff, they're going to get too much bile, you're going to get all this fluid buildup, and he's going to have the issue he's having. So to avoid that, we need to switch it. And it was just working as a team. And I told them, I'm not trying to to push you guys aside. We need to work as a team in order to get this person better. And as a team, we can get him out of the hospital and thriving. If we just do what you guys say, I can promise you he's going to die. And then because I'm saying it the way I said it, and it was just because I understood how things were going. And then, of course, the family's like, well, we don't want that to happen. And so the doctor's like, okay, let's do it how you're saying. I'll do this, and then we'll do this thing that you said. And when we did it in harmony, turn things around fast. So I don't say avoid doctors. I say find a doctor that works with you as a team so that you are always building, right? They're going to give you what's needed as an emergency. But once we address that emergency and it's taken care of and now you're rebuilding, you don't need that anymore. Right. Now we're going to work and build back up your body nutritionally, because that's the only way you can build your body is to nourish it back to health.
Right.
And I think more and more we're getting into doctors that are starting to listen to that.
So when someone comes to you and they tell you they haven't been to a doctor, but they tell you their symptoms, are you able, is the way that you work with people, are you able to diagnose people, or do you recommend that they go to a doctor first and get diagnosed? I mean, you probably would have an idea, but because there's no way of you really knowing what's going on in their body, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that people can be guessing that are going on, and I think that's why a lot of times in the ER they rule out all kinds of stuff before they get to the root of the problem. So what happens in that instance with you?
Well, usually, because I do get a lot of people that are like, I don't want to deal with doctors, and so then for me, a diagnosis doesn't remove the problem. A diagnosis, honestly, and I know this only because of the people I know in the medical field, a diagnosis is solely so they can put that on paper and the insurance covers it according to that for the prescription they're going to get. But a diagnosis really does, those are really, honestly, to me, diagnoses are just symptoms you have. And symptoms are just symptoms. They're not the reason it's happening. You've got something going on that is causing these symptoms. So what I do is I always try to address, if they don't, and I get it, because I don't see doctors. I mean, I see them as my friends when I meet them and talk with them and hang out with them, but that I go see them when it comes to my health, I don't. But that's me, only because I dive myself into the world of health. So I just address those things. So when someone comes to me like that, what I do is, if they have a doctor, usually they'll say, doctor said I have blah, 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 fill in the blank. And I said, okay, those are symptoms. So now let's try to figure out the cause of why those symptoms are existing. And then we start getting to the bottom of things. And I just start asking, like, the things they eat, the things that they take. Are they taking over-the-counter stuff? Are they taking medications? Because sometimes it's simple as the medication is doing it. And you go, okay, well, let's try this other thing and kind of balance your body, right? Something natural. And then you have your medication there. You can take it any time. And so what they do is they're like, well, that kind of went away, so I don't need to take this now. And they go back to the doctor. The doctor checks them, and they see that things kind of normalize. So you still want to work in harmony with the doctor. For those that are like me that don't want to, again, that's fine. I just do it because I know what I know, but not everybody's doing the in-depth research I do. So when someone comes like that to me, I just go, okay, I have to know everything from what they eat. When you wake up in the morning, tell me what you're eating for breakfast, what you're drinking. A lot of times it's that.
Yeah.
They'll tell me something.
I love what you're saying
like,
right now. It's awesome.
There you go.
No, it's true. I'm sorry to cut you out. I love what you're saying because it's so true. You're saying it's clear. That's what she's saying. It's not about getting diagnosed or what it is. It's getting to the root. Because the reason why you're getting those problems is because you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing and your body's reacting. So she wants to find out what you're eating, what you're drinking. And one time, remember, I was interviewing you and I was drinking a Monster and you're like, your body shuts down for 2-3 hours, right?
I'm always very mindful of that because I remember very clearly what you said about, and you know what? It stayed with me and I've been so good about it too. So you were talking about if you drink a soda, what happens to your body for the next 4 hours or so. Well, ever since that day, I hardly ever drink soda. Hardly ever. I think it's been months since I've had a full-on, like, Coke or whatever, like I'll take a little sip here and there, but no, I don't drink it anymore because I remember what you said very clearly, and I said, you know what, she's right. She's right. There's a lot of things that you probably think that we're not mindful, that we don't remember, but I do remember.
And we do the opposite anyways, because
sometimes
it tastes so good, Lourdes. Sorry, it just tastes so good.
But so I'm going to be completely open with you guys right now about something. So I suffer from kidney stones.
Okay.
And just recently, I had another one that was 3 millimeters. And let me tell you, this is not, it's not fun. It's probably one of the worst pains I have ever experienced in my life, even though it was very tiny. But they told me it comes from calcium, and that, it's probably something that I inherited because my mom suffered from kidney stones. So I'm thinking to myself, but I have to go through all this pain and take all this pain medication to be able to extract this tiny little stone. I just found out that I have a 5 millimeter, another one, and then I have another one on my right side. It was through the CT scan, and I'm thinking to myself, what is this going to look like in a few months when they want to come out again? I'm scared. So
this is what I would do if that was my situation. If I had problems where kidney stones keep showing up, I would start taking something that breaks it down, and I would do I would take, every morning I'd get maybe two oranges and juice them. I'm sorry, not oranges, lemon. I would take 2 lemons and juice them, and I would drink a glass of lemon every day, because not only is that known to break up kidney stones, because it breaks it up, it also avoids it.
I'm sorry, but at the ER, actually, one of the nurses told me, make sure you drink a lot of acidic drinks. She's like anything like lemon. The nurse actually recommended that. Yeah. And I was like,
and it's interesting. You said I actually have 2 nurses that I advocate for. I always, they always reach out and want to know more, and so I kind of take the time to teach, train certain things naturally that they are interested in, and they're amazing. And I'm happy to do it because they're nurses, and it's nice because I've helped them with their situation or somebody in their one of their loved ones, but they love learning. And so those nurses, I'm like, kudos to them, because they do reach out, but you will find nurses like that do understand that. Lemon is really, really good. I always say lemon, you can do like a little apple cider vinegar with water, but I think lemon works the best in my opinion. I know other people are like, I like the apple cider vinegar. It's like, ugh. But if that's their thing, knock your socks out.
I take that every day, every other day, apple cider vinegar with water. Yep.
No, it's gross.
Because it's so good. Really, it really is good.
It cleanses you out, yeah.
Yeah, and it does. It really does. It's great for your gut. It's just like you want to build the gut area anyway, because most of your immune system is in the stomach area. But if I had to deal with kidney stones, the very thing I'd be doing daily is I'd be drinking lemon and making lemon juice. Right, so it would just be fresh lemons. I'd always make sure it's organic. Just because that way I know it's grown in a specific way where it's like it should be. And then I would just juice and drink that daily. That way, if there's kidney stones, it's going to break it up, right? I'm not allowed to claim that, but I will say that if you look up the data, it's there. And so that's what I would do if I had a kidney stone issue. It's, I know they would say, oh, it's calcium, it's all this. It's like, I have never seen. It's usually that something is off, right? Because all our organs work together. If the kidneys are creating that, there's an imbalance. But when we can easily, just by doing lemon juices on a daily basis, is bringing back the balance of what the kidneys need. And if you're doing certain juices, it'll clean certain things out of the system that might be in your system that's causing it to clog up and give you those kidney stones. The whole thing that it runs in the family and stuff, I've always been like, not my belief, because if that was the case, there's so many people around the world that I'm not related to that has had kidney stones.
Yeah.
And yet they, so if you look at it just in general, it's just what's going on in the body, address it. Because then you go, well, my sister didn't get it, but I got it. It's like, well, if it's running in it, everybody should have it, but not everybody has it. Yeah. So it is what's going in our system, what we're surrounded by. where we live, what we've breathed in, anything can cause an imbalance.
Yeah, what
And
we
so it's
eat,
just doing those
our
things.
diet, definitely, I'm definitely going on a low sodium diet as well. There's just little changes that I want to make as I get older. I just realized that I can't be putting myself through this torture, and it's definitely
Right.
torture. It's like I've never given birth, like natural birth, and so they told me, I think you just experienced it because it is that bad. I mean, it's painful, and it's like I don't want to do that again. And so I'm even thinking, are they going to cut me open to take them out because I don't want them there? It's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, my mom was just like, oh, I had that. My mom's all telling me, and I'm like, yeah, mom, I don't know, maybe, but I doubt it. I think everyone's body is different, and so. But I'm just gonna ask one last question. How many ounces of lemon juice?
I do it like at least if I have kidney stones, I do at least like a glass of like an 8-ounce glass of lemon juice.
Because she's not a big drinker of water and
Wow.
stuff. She's like, I hate going pee. I'm like, dude, just drink the water.
8 ounces of lemon juice. Wow.
But you could drink that all day, right? She doesn't have to drink it, or she should just down it.
Well, I'll tell you what my husband does, Chris. Anytime he has that issue, he chugs it, and it fixes it.
Yeah, so you have to just do it. And is there, okay, let's say she doesn't, we don't want to do it. How long should we do it for? Or should we do it like every day for a while till it hurts, and then every other day, or wean off of it? Or?
Well, you want to do it once when you're better, and you'll know when you're better because you're like, I don't feel anything anymore, and things are great, and you might urinate it out, right? Because they may just break it down small enough that you'll see some kind of thing inside the wall, in the toilet bowl and whatever. But I would do it, at least for the week so that and you'll know because you don't have the pain, we don't got the lower back, none of that will happen. You'll know. And then I would just do an upkeep, right? So instead of doing it daily, now that I fixed it, I would just, even if it's just adding some into water and have that for the morning. Just a fresh half squeezed lemon inside like a 4-ounce glass of water. And then you drink that first thing in the morning, which by the way is great because it's great for your liver. It helps detox the liver. It's, your liver does over 500 functions. So you kind of want to do that anyway, but then it all works in harmony with your kidneys and everything else. So it's like vitamin C, it's got it all.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
Thank you.
So lemon,
Wow.
and then of course apple cider vinegar, which I do. I do 3 tablespoons into a nice sized water, a little shot of water, and I take it, and it helps me with my kidneys. And
she's not saying tequila and lemon either.
Tequila, but because you did heal yourself of cancer, and that's a big thing right now. Cancer is still huge. It's 2026. Cancer is still huge. I mean, this past weekend, a couple weeks ago, my aunt, she's down here from Las Vegas because her niece is in the hospital because of cancer. It has stage 4 cancer, and they're doing what they can for her as well. And cancer's big, and I know I got to see your previous documentary, Create Option C. So before we get into that, we're gonna take a quick break. And when we come back, because we'll do another link, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue that with the whole Create Option. So we're going to take another quick break, guys.
Shoulders, knees, and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes. And eyes and cheeks and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes.
Affordable self-care from professional massage therapists and estheticians. It's what we do. Massage Envy, where better begins.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. We are continuing this conversation. Before the break, I asked you because yes, Create Option C was your previous movie, documentary, and you were sharing about they gave you 1 week to live, and that you were in a place where I got to heal myself, and I want to document this because I know people would not believe me that I did it. So that's the purpose of that. But now you have Option C, the creators divine design you want to implement and let people know it's not just about the holistic healing part, but it's also about the spiritual part, about God, having the Lord in your life as well. So if you want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I I have like honestly like 44 hours worth of footage, so we brought that into an hour and 40 minutes. And so the create option C, the first one was about me creating it, right? Going through the steps. This is what I did to create option C, and explained what A was, which is do what the doctors tell you, B, do nothing at all, and C, really picking it up and figuring out what I need to do to get better. And so once that was done, my consistent prayers and really doing everything through the Lord is where he brought, and it's interesting because I was very stubborn at one time, where no matter all these things showing up, when the angels would show up and I would have these conversations, and Chris recorded all of it, right? All those things that were happening, it was always kept out of the documentary. It was always just about, I created option C, this is how I did it. And it was like God saying, now it's time for them to see your entire experience, but through my work and why you're here. And so it was that way when I started going through everything. And it was interesting because the moment I said, okay, let me go through all this footage, I found the footages of when I was having conversations with angels. I had found footages where my mom talks about when she did the prayer over me and how she felt the Holy Spirit and everything. And then I moved, like all these things, and they were all in there, right? Interesting how when you're sent back to go and start doing a complete different one so that they see the other side, which was God. Nice. It blew me away. I'm going, wow, look at all this. This is so crazy. Here I'm literally having this conversation with my eyes closed with the angels, and my husband's recording everything that I'm saying. And, just all these different experiences in there, including what I did and how things got better, and then how I used myself as a guinea pig. So you see it more cut and more to the point. But you see God's hand in all of it. I mean, even down to where I had the one doctor that I was working with, and then you see him, and I'm going, wow, I didn't even know he had said that. Why wasn't it in the documentary? And he talks about how, how I changed his life because and he goes, and he brings up God. All these people are bringing this all the way through, and I'm going, he was always there.
You left out it's a huge part.
It's the main part. And that's what makes this completely different and so empowering, because you see it through the whole video. I mean, like through the whole documentary, you see God.
I love it because, even talking to you before with the previous documentary, you would share with me that it's that not only do you believe in the process of okay, taking wheatgrass, doing all these things in order to cure yourself, but you got to have that mindset as well, because your mind is a very powerful tool in the whole process of your self healing. Correct? And that's why.
100%.
And you implement it. Well, you knew, because your faith, you're like, well, my is God, so I'm gonna have faith. If He says He's gonna heal me, then I am healed. So.
Oh yeah, it's in fact in one of the conversations in the video when I'm having with the angels, I was completely told that even though I was given a week left to live and barely breathing, that I wasn't going to die because I had a mission. And so even when I was feeling the death, I understood I wasn't going anywhere. And then, but it allowed me to understand that when you have that faith in God, when you know that you're going to be fine, and you just have to go through these things, and that's part of living, you get to the other side of it. And it's mind blowing on how much I have learned because I allowed God in. And it's when you allow God in, the fear goes away. There's no fear. Because what are you going to fear? No one more powerful than the man that created us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if He's stepping in, you're in good hands. And and you're just doing the things He has literally provided on earth for us. He's reminding you that He has given us everything here on earth that we need. And when we look at it and you just look at nature, you're like, well, yeah, it is there. Why didn't I see this before? And so even when I was editing and going through all the footage, I can't tell you how many times I had to stop and the emotions. I'm sorry, but it was just, I look at it and going, how did I miss this before? I was so engulfed in it, but then when I went right back into the stuff, I'm like, God is in everything. In everything I was doing, He was right by my side in everything, in every decision. When I would say, no, I'm not going to do that. And I don't know why I would say it. I just would say it. But when I look at it, I'm like, I said it because he had the Holy Spirit with me going, this is not for you. This is what you need to do. And it was just, and I was just going through the motions, not realizing that it was just literally so perfectly, like I can't even explain, like it, like when you're threading something, it was just perfectly done.
Wow.
And I look at that and it's like, this is so mind blowing because I'm looking at it with different eyes. I'm looking at it and seeing that the whole time I prayed to him, he was there the whole time. The whole time.
Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And that's what you see in this one.
That's beautiful. Your faith is so it's like a glow in your face when you talk about it. It just looks beautiful on you. By the way, I love it when you say that, when people say that, because we all pray at times of need, right? Only when we need something or we're going through trials. But when you have God with you all day long, from the time you wake up, no matter what, even in your happy moments, even on your normal days, you had that. And it looks, to me, I mean, you still do. And it's like, because we can't just go to him when we need him.
That's right.
He needs to be with us along the way of every day, the way we live. And that's something that I'm too trying to exercise. It's not just begging him take away my pain, because I have to feel him, and so that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
You.
No, I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
And in the documentary, does it also show? Because I know the Create Option C shows it, but you share with people that are maybe going through stage 4 right now, or they've been diagnosed with cancer. What are some of the things that they can actually do right now? Not only watch your documentary, that we're gonna get more information about that, but also what are some things that they can start doing in order to start seeing a change in their lives?
Yeah, well, diet's going to be a stronghold on that. When it comes to diet, it means everything. And I always tell people, if you're dealing with something like cancer or just any kind of illness, right? You want to get into an anti-inflammatory diet, right? So things that are anti-inflammatory. When you start doing that, your body starts then getting the things it needs and it can now heal. If we are always in an inflammatory response consistently, we're going to get too much inflamed, and too much inflammation can cause even cell death, right? So we don't want that. We want to rebuild, we want to heal. And when you get into that kind of things, the more green leafy stuff and, roots like the cat's claw and anamu and shark cartilage, I took all those things, which is now all in the documentary. So there's a lot of things I did put in the documentary to show people the things that I did. But it's interesting because, even down to the green stuff, right? Like when you go and look at wheatgrass, which is like, ugh. But I did it. I did it as much as I disliked it. But, it's in the chlorophyll. It builds the iron. It's, and it's, again, anti-inflammatories, anti-cancer. It's got, anything that's anti-inflammatory is anti-cancer, by the way. And that's just in data. That's information that's out there. But just things like that, like wheatgrass has B17. B17 was also found in apricot seeds, which is also found in apple seeds, right? Those are things that are actually anti-cancer. So when you look at things like that, or you want to alkaline the body, you can do like, and it used to be, by the way back in the day, where someone, if they were ill and they wanted to get better, even doctors at the time, way back in the day, they would just have you take baking soda, and not a lot. You did like a half a teaspoon into like 4 ounces of water, and you mixed it really well, where it was mixed really well. You don't see anything. And you drink that, and you don't want to be on a full stomach, right? But that's what you drank. And then you and it alkalined and kind of subsided issues that were going on in your body. Walked away from it. Now, and we don't even look at it. We just look at it. It's good for cleaning or baking. But it's like, actually, if you put in, just a little bit, not a lot, just half a teaspoon. I wouldn't do more than half a teaspoon. And in fact, if you look at a lot of the boxes, it will actually tell you that, because some of it still has that information there. I looked at one of my boxes and I was like, oh, it's still there. So, if you look, it is still there, where they did have patients do that to get better.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of things one can do if you're fighting cancer, is things like that.
No, yeah, and I know you've asked me to get some salt, because I was sharing with you that I had high blood pressure. So I was actually getting some salt every morning and night and putting it on my tongue. And
but it's a particular salt.
Yes, I bought a particular salt that you had me buy. Again, not just the regular salt. I'll go.
You
like,
could say the name of it because I
Celtic,
forgot.
the Celtic salt.
yes,
And
yes.
that's what I use now. I buy it on Amazon, and that's the only salt I use. And you know what? It does give the food a different flavor too. By the way, which is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tastes is good.
No, I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Yeah, no. So I'm really excited and grateful that you came on here and took the time. And like I said, it's those littlest things. I even I've asked you. I'll get a little sick and a little cold, and I'll text you, and you're like, take this, and I'm doing that, and it's helped me. And I'm a strong believer and what you're doing as well, because I like you said, the doctors are there because sometimes you need a little bit of a diagnosis. Yes, great, but then now let's get down to the root of the problem. And I know, yes, you're right. It's all about your gut health. And since I've been taking care of my gut, have been seeing different things. She's laughing because she knows that I've been taking black seed oil. I take ginger, turmeric. I take
But he still
wheatgrass.
eats bad, and,
Hey,
and
don't
then
tell
he
on
takes
me.
and then he takes all this stuff. So.
Hey, I take it daily so I can cheat once in a while. Okay.
Once in a while, we need to be honest now. Let's get honest, because if we can't get honest, I mean, you could take all this stuff. I don't know. I'm just thinking you could take all this stuff, but if you're not making changes with your food,
No, definitely.
And you gotta make changes with your food too.
Yes, yes. No, but
He's like, great, I'm getting, I'm getting in trouble.
she likes getting me in trouble all the time. Is there anything else you would like to share that maybe something we might not we didn't ask you that you just wanted to? It's on the tip of your tongue to share with everyone.
Well, I can say this: if they go to createoptionc.com, right, the letter C, the on-demand documentary is there, but as well as lots of information on diets, recipes, foods you can eat. If you're dealing with certain things, I've literally put all that stuff on my website. So anytime someone's looking for something, and you can even reach out. If you reach, there's a little part where you can subscribe, and I'll get an email, and you can on there say anything that you want to ask or something like that. I get it directly. So
Nice.
any questions, I can get it through there. There's stuff that you want to learn about, whether it's, brain issues, health issues. It doesn't matter what it is. I have a lot of stuff on my website that goes into any of those things that, someone may have a question or go,
Nice.
what can I do for this? And they go on there, oh, I can take this, or I can make this meal, or I can drink this juice. And it's all on there.
Nice.
Wow, that's nice.
I like that. So, is there I was gonna say with everything we're talking about, I know I have a direct contact with Lourdes, so I'm very excited with that. But what is the number one thing you get asked about? Is it cancer or is it a variety? What's like one of the number? Because 2026, we're calling this year is health is wealth. That's what we're shooting on. Health is wealth. So what is like one of the main things you get asked about? Is it cancer or is it diabetes?
Yeah, cancer is huge, but it's not just cancer. Lately, it's been a lot of people with gallbladder issues.
Oh.
It's amazing how they're like, oh, they want to remove the gallbladder. I'm like, well, the gallbladder is really important. So instead of just taking out organs because you have an issue with it, it's better to just kind of address and heal it so that it can run and do its job. So, because we're so easily like, oh, it's so bad. And it's like, the very thing that if you remove your gallbladder, right? Now you have to change your diet. Now and it's still going to give you problems. I can promise you, I got several people I'm working with, and they still have problems. In fact, they have even more problems because they removed the gallbladder, that was bothering them. And they still had to change their diet. They can't eat meat, right? They have to eat smaller portions. And then when they eat it, they're in agony. So they're going through all these problems when if they would have just fixed it, those problems just would have not been there in the first place. So gallbladder has been huge lately. And so on some, I'm going, do this before you do anything. And then they have, and things are better. And then there's other, I have like my mother-in-law, she just had hers, and she's got problems going on. But that doesn't mean, because sometimes they think, does that mean it's it? No. You can work, what you do is you're going to work with your body and give it certain things that the gallbladder would have done. That's all you're going to do.
Right.
Sometimes people think that it's it, and now they're going to have to just live in this predicament. No, you go, okay, the gallbladder worked with the liver to do this thing, to break down, the fats and these kind of things. So what can I do now to address that? So then you start taking certain supplements, certain things that you eat or drink that will do that very thing for you so you don't have that stomach problem. Because many, many, many people, I'd say the last month, I couldn't get over how many gallbladder issues showed up. I'm just like, wow, well, what is going on here? It's no joke. That has been probably the number one outside of cancer.
Wow, that's
probably
crazy.
the number one. And then obviously you have some people that have like a liver issue that they've been dealing with, and then we're working with that. Or autoimmune lupus, that's been another big one and stuff. And so it's kind of addressing their autoimmune disorder that they're having. So we're kind of working and building back up the system, because a lot of times we get so wrapped in, we have to build the immune system, we have to do this. And it's like, but then they forget about the D cell that works with the brain, that works with the immune system. So it's all these different things that we're like, oh yeah, the mitochondria, the T cell, and the immune system. It's like, yeah, but how about the D cell? That is part of that works with the immune system, that it has to do with the brain, that if you work with those things and you build it up, it now works in harmony. So I would say that that's the main part that I've been working with is gallbladder has been huge last month. And obviously the kidneys and liver and that thing's kind of been showing up. Autoimmune lupus has been another one that's been showing up a lot. And so now I've just been working with them, in harmony and saying, okay, let's look at your whole picture. Tell me what you eat for breakfast. What do
Right.
you eat
Yeah,
for snacks?
that's what you have to do.
And then we just kind of start breaking it down and say, well, let's start adding this. Let's put this in there, make this kind of juice, because not every juice is going to be good for someone depending on what they're missing. And anytime someone's missing any organ in the digestion, whether it's your appendix, I did a whole thing on the appendix on my Facebook, or you're missing your gallbladder, or you're missing your, name it. It doesn't matter. If anything is missing, that means they're not working in harmony. Then that's where you have to eat less protein, right? You have to eat smaller amounts of protein at increments. You don't want to go and have a whole meal and then you suffer because you're missing certain organs that aren't there to work in harmony.
Right.
So I always tell them, it's like, you don't have to stop eating your meat. You just have to eat less of it, smaller portions, with a variety of certain vegetables to help break up that protein that's going on because you're missing the organ. So that's all it is when you're missing something, that's when you just change and go, I eat less of this, I eat more of this. And then you can have, you want to eat a whole steak, break it into smaller pieces.
Right.
I'll eat that one in 2 hours with this, with this vegetable. And so that's all you're doing, just changing how you're eating.
I like it. Well, thank you so much, man.
No,
Thank you so much for coming on here. I really appreciate you. And if anybody wants more information, createoptionc.com, right? Createoptionc.com. She's there to assist. She's there to help. She wants to change the world one person at a time. Yes.
Hey, she started with herself, so that's a big plus already.
That's a huge plus.
Yes, she's a living proof of holistic.
Holistic healing.
Yes.
And I'm a huge part of it. I tell everybody about you, and you know that. I tell everybody.
really does. He
I
really
tell
does.
everybody about you. I met this other doctor, shared about you as well. So thank you so much. And we want to make this, maybe we'll come on here again and talk about certain issues and what we a little bit more.
Yeah, I
about
want to talk to you about hormones next.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So get ready about
Yes.
hormones.
Yes.
But thank you so
Let's
much.
do it. You let me know when.
All right.
Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. And if you want more information, like I said, I'll put it on below. But don't forget, tune in Monday, 7 a.m. We'll see you later. Lourdes, we'll see you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I'll give you a call right after this.
Thank you. This episode is proudly brought to you by our sponsors who make this content possible. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much for watching Let's Connect Now. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And if you want to be a sponsor, contact us today.